So let's see if I get good drop frames. Let's go below 10 and we can start. Come on. Go down. Okay, I think I have a good connection. So let me just revert. I'm actually not gonna revert, I'm just gonna explain maybe the code that I've done. So what I did is in the previous stream we stopped somewhere here where we tried to make an HTTP request in the pay button. So when I click, sorry, not on the pay button, when they finish editing the customer, this customer finished email, we wanted to get a find customer, so create HTTP post and then there was this JSON body. That's why it gets a bit confusing because I forgot how to use encoders. So encoders is kind of like when in JavaScript you're constructing an object and you're saying this is an object which is an email and it has email inside and it's a string and this guy needs to be a string because we're dealing with a data structure which is actually not a typed thing. What they done is they created the encoders and decoders to make sure that when we're switching from type thing to non-type thing, we're doing things in a safe way. So the encoders are there to know what to do with this email, for example. So when we when we check the customer email, we will create an object because if you remember, our fetch has an object here. So that's why we're creating an object. And within this object, it's kind of funky syntax here. So if you look at JSON encode.object, you see that it expects a list. And from the list, it will create a JSON array. So as you can see here, with encoders, I actually find like those examples that they give you here, they're really good to play with things. So if we kind of like launch them in Elm REPL, so we need to import JSON encode as encode. Then we can try to do this function. We can call Tom. We can call encode 0 Tom. So 0 is the, I don't know why they're passing 0, because this 0 thing. Encode converts a value into prefetched string. The first argument specifies the amount of indentation. Okay, so 0 is the indentation. As you can see, so it's a kind of weird parameter there. Yeah, so it tells us what it looks like. So if we have this function with an object, and then we have the name and a string inside that turns it into a name, and then the other value turns it into a key with a name value and an integer 42. So it's pretty straightforward when you get your head around it, but that took me a while. So after that, we need to handle that thing. That's why it kind of gets a bit crazy, because there is a whole bunch of different errors that we can throw. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just capturing all of them and I'm just adding them to the error array. So we're going to display it here in the future. For now, we just need to make sure that we get a customer ID. So actually getting a customer ID from the request. So this is the error. So you see got customer ID OK, and we have got customer ID error. So there's two different cases which allows us to handle errors and the happy path in a nice isolated way. So if I comment out this is actually gonna fail now. So you cannot not have this. You need to make sure that you handle somehow. You don't need to always go crazy like this. So you can say actually that you don't really care about the error and you just do nothing. But you need to be specific about this. You need to be explicit, saying that I don't want to do anything about all of these errors, or I want to do only something about specific types of errors. So after we get this error, everything is fine and good until let's actually show that it works. And it confused the heck out of me is that I can actually, like, it actually works without the CORS. So I was wondering why did I have the CORS issues before, but okay. So I put my email, I press tab. Probably it's some kind of indication to the user that something is happening. We can see the Elm debugger here, and it shows to us nicely. We can actually kind of go in a backwards. So it shows nicely that it got the customer ID, and now our model got updated. We put the customer ID there, and we enable the payments, which is good. That's exactly what we wanted. So the question now is, how do we get this customer ID to the next query? Because the next query is, after we got the customer ID, we need to create a session. So if we look here, the first thing they actually do is they create a checkout session. We need to do this essentially. So that's why it's going to be like, okay, so this is going to be created in the brain, in the backend. I'm going to create a new REPL probably. Let's start with that. And so we want to call Stripe API. So we'll just grab this URL from here. So HTTP post, I think. Looks like post to me, but cannot tell really. This post or not? Probably. If we look at in .NET or Go Node, that would be easier thing for me to see. Okay, so they're doing cool story, right? I think it's not post. When it's D there, it looks like a get, to be honest. So let's try to do HTTP get. So we have Stripe, this URL, which we can extract as a separate variable. So this Stripe create checkout session, and then for query, I guess we provide all of this guys, and we need auth Stripe headers. And the header here is, so we want to provide probably payment methods types, as they call it there. Let's create a query outside, because it looks like lots of those names are kind of weird. So I can just type set, I think. Yep. So payment method types, I'm just gonna copy this guy and say card here, and let's see if we just put a query and if it works or not. Okay, so we'll get there, parameter unknown, payment method types. By payment intent. I forget why it's telling us that. Did you mean payment intent? Checkout sessions, so let's check. Yes, checkout sessions. And the payment method types is what we might need to do this thing again, which I've done. So if I make, I'm gonna create a, I forget what to call this guy. No, do I do Control C or something like this? I think it's like this. Yes. So I'm just gonna create like curl payment types txt, curl like type txt, and import. I should be able to launch this. Come on, Paul. It's opening. You free trial. Why am I on a free trial now? Okay, timing is off there. So we're gonna import. I did some keychain cleaning, and kind of most of my computer stuff is a bit confused about things now. So src brain uploads payment page, and we want this guy. Okay, so body is form URL encoded. Let's see if we can do this. So that works. We do form URL encoded. So let's make sure that in here in headers, yeah, we have form URL encoded, everything is good. I think it's not get. Let's check poll. Yeah, it is a post. T. So this is not a query, this is body. And body query is empty and stripe headers is here. Run this guy again. Parameter is missing. Okay, so it now wants us to give a success URL because it doesn't know where to redirect after it's done. So success URL is gonna be, I'm just gonna put a direct link, and here's why it gets tricky, because if you remember, here's our URL, but it changes every time. So how do we do this then? We have, what I've noticed here is that when we upload assets in Dark, do they have a somewhere? I had a, pretty sure I had the documentation for Dark open, but maybe not. Dark, this one. Happy upload. So this is our name. Let's pass assets to specify serve latest. So when you do serve latest, it's index HTML. What I don't get is how the heck does it get an index HTML? Does it like so they upload? Let's check here. But they do React push uploads. So Dark CLI, so upload the build folder, okay, and then they go to this one and they search for, okay, so it looks like in here, instead of doing this, we can say serve index HTML somehow, and we should get, I haven't worked with assets enough, to be honest, so repo serve latest index.html. Boom, that gave us something. Heck is that? Okay, so if we go to this file name thing, which I think we tried before but it didn't work. So if we now go in a new tab and we just open it like this, it says no route matches. But if we open it with index.html, why didn't you work? No, not favicon. So response is 200. Why did we get 4? Ah, okay, so here we need to say index.html. Okay. That didn't work, obviously, because it gave us unexpected. I'm not sure what, like, so when it returns to us, let's merge this guy here. I don't know why it's in separate tab. So when it gives us serve latest, get any false. Payment results, post. So we have serve latest for index.html, but I'm not getting is how the heck it's mapping them together. So it's like in the static assets. Oh, it seems to be remembering. So they're all under the same hash, but it gives us a different version of this hash. So maybe, but where this name comes from, this thing. So that it says that when I do serve latest index.html, it returns some crap like this. which I'm like, cool, but that's not what we want. Let's check the finished example here. I have a finished app. Where's the finished example? Name. Okay, here we go. It was there. Okay, and can we see the actual code? Finish the work and you're from hamburger on the right. Which right? Okay, Dark, you made it confusing. So how do we serve static assets? I don't get it. Set up your load up to load. There was some simple use case. Okay, so that's what I want to see. So they have something here. So when we do open this returns this crazy shit. And does this actually work? So that gives us a React app. So the question is, when it returns this crazy stuff, it seems to be fine, just not showing us the right thing. But why here we just get the document and we get some unexpected shit? So we're not gonna put thing here, we're just gonna say this. Gave us no route matches. Right. So let's make this guy simpler. And if still say fancy file name, it's gonna remove all of this jazz. It's gonna copy this, clone this, remove this, that's it. And see if we can make this work. Scheme skips doing this index HTML, so we want to go to the root. Okay, so now it tries to do the get of the payment page. So I wonder with this simple static asset, how does this work around it? Okay, so it does probably. So okay, so we're just gonna do this. When we do the build, oops. And dash public URL. So instead of doing dot, we're just gonna do this. And I'm not sure if it's slash or not. Let's see what the index HTML looks like after it's built. So I went with a more complicated solution, which we didn't really need. So let's see what the URL looks like. Script slash payment page, perfect. So that's, I presume this will work. Let's see, hope. Gives no route matches. So we didn't need the file name thing. If we look at React, what does React do? There should be a script somewhere here, right? Okay, so it does this. Oh, so it references specific wow, okay. But you wouldn't know how to reference this until you know this. So this, the bottom one is, I believe, the current one, and the first one is specific one. So I think if this wouldn't work if I like go and upload a new file, it wouldn't necessarily work as expected. Unless what they're saying here is kind of it will magically work if you put this magic variable there. So let's try to do this when they say, because I didn't follow the documentation exactly, I was kind of like pretending to be smarter than the documentation. So assets public, yeah, so they gave us this magic variable here, so let's put this one there and maybe then this will work. I don't really understand how, but the only thing we need to check is, yes, it has it's a dash. So dark CLI. Let's see if it works. So by itself somehow. Refresh. Wow, okay. So they automatically add this thing. So here we now have, I don't know what this is, just stripe, but we have this magic URL, so it's apparently does it. No, that's not the right URL. Still, sorry. Where's the script? It's easier to show in the network tab, I think, than here. So this payment page now is returned directly from the assets. So it kind of somehow maps it there when it serves it. I think it processes it or whatever, like magic. Brilliant joke. Okay, so why I was uploading this I already forgot. It'd be cool if someone reminds me, but not yet. When people actually start watching this. Right, so when we after we got the customer ID, we need to figure out what to do next. To figure that out, let me just close too many tabs. I'm going to close all of this. I'm going to leave the local one in the pin. I'm going to close this. So, right, so in accept a card payment, we needed this. Now I remembered where I was. So I was trying to create a new REPL, which would go, I think it was ZP Meerkat, yeah, which would go and create a session. I try to call this guy. We will get an error saying success URL is invalid. So that's why we got into this whole thing. So here's our success URL. So this is gonna say Stripe checkout session body success URL is gonna be this and dictionary set. So for now I'm gonna say this as the success URL. It is not necessarily the best thing to do because it's like one URL there only you can set, but and I cannot call cancel here because if I could do dash cancel, it's gonna try to go through dark and return to me. So I either need to say anything that comes here, like any slash with get will go to index.html like you usually do in route, or I need to have like something like slash pay, and then slash pay will return me one thing, and slash pay success will also return me the same page. So maybe I'll move it right away to slash pay because, to be honest, it makes more sense to go there. So let's see if I can quickly rename this. For some reason it already had pay there. And it's working. Okay. So now I'm gonna have this guy. So there's gonna be a slash pay. And maybe we can say when they say here, actually, when they say success, they have a session ID. So we can probably specify even success here. But I'm not gonna do this yet because I just want to make it easier. Success and oops. Success and success. There's too many things there. And session ID equals checkout session ID. So it's gonna automatically insert it for us. And we need a cancel URL, which is gonna be same but different. Something wrong here with layout. Like everything kind of what this guy is doing on top. Something wrong. Oh wait, this is the HTTP GET. We don't want to get rid of this. There's kind of overlap here. I was going to remove it. So we don't have a checkout session, but we have a cancel there. Oh Jesus. Okay. Brain uploads. Nope. I'm just gonna copy this. So we can say type equals cancel. Okay, so now what we want to see is, I'm not going to use this for much. This is just to show them something, so that's why I don't read all of these guys. So we have a function which allowed us to get the thing from our CMS. So I think it was program details, something like this. Let's grab that function and call it here. I'm gonna call program details, static one for now. And I believe, okay, we're just gonna go to, whoa, Sanity Studio. We're just gonna go to our CMS and grab it from there. I think this might be the easiest thing to do. It's gonna look. I think it's a program. Copy this, and for now paste it here. Just want to kind of get something. See if we run this guy. Okay, so we got name and the price. So now we can kind of need to move all of these guys up here because it needs to be before the body. And that's why it gets a bit like, how the fuck do I copy paste this? So I think if I copy paste it here, then it's not gonna go in the right place. If I copy it here, it does just insert the let, and then if I try to copy, I get this weird stuff. So we can kind of like, you see the copy is really weird still. Get program details, and then I'm just gonna get the program ID manually. So we need to add all of these line items. Let's see what we need. So we need line items name. It's gonna take some time. Set line items name is program details. Why is this incomplete? Probably because we have never executed it. So as soon as we execute it, it's gonna give us right. So it is. So the program is here. So we need to make sure that we match on the program, and we need to put this guy inside the match. And I'm gonna say wrap in match arm, and we're gonna say this we're matching on program details, and if we have, then we have a program. Otherwise, we need to return something. So maybe we have nothing, and then in this scenario we do nothing, let's say for now. So that way we don't need to deal with thing here. We know the program has name. So now we have play. Okay. TP set was wrong when I called parameter actual value guidance. Oh, sorry, not DB set, dictionary set. Line items, program name. So dictionary set was next. Amount, I think. Oops. Amount is 1. Currency is USD. Currency USD, dictionary set. It's not very exciting to watch this, right? See if I can find a better way. So we have amount and we have quantity. Oh, amount is the price, I think. So program.price, and the quantity is 1, as we only allowing me to write one program anyway. We can now have an image, which is pretty cool. So we can extract this image from our program details. So let's get in the program details, and then when we're getting stuff from here, let's get the program itself has quite a few fields. So if we add an image here, I believe it's called image. Oh Jesus, this thing is very difficult. Okay, I was given 5 minutes before we can go, before I need to go. So the program itself, I think we might have made a mistake in our... Oh, oops, okay. We have not added the image, so I'm just going to ignore the image for now. Okay, so I think we should be good to go. So let's just check if I can actually execute this guy. Talking Rhinoceros, ZP Meerkat. So for now, we're just going to not do anything, but try to put an image later. Okay, so yay! So that trace returns billing, body, billing address, cancel URL, client reference, customer. So we don't have a customer here. We got customer. I believe it's just a customer. Yeah, and we pass the customer ID here. And the customer ID will come from somewhere else. We're just gonna put it here for now, and we can grab one of the customer's ID from our model here. Where is our XHRs? Alright, so if I type my name, oops. It's not very good user experience, to be honest, because the customer doesn't really understand what they're doing here. Maybe we need a submit button or something, but I'm going it on blue now, just for simplicity's sake. So if we put this customer here, and now we call post, then we get the customer. For some reason we don't get the email address. I don't really get why we don't get the email address. Okay, so we can actually pre-fill with the customer email. So let's say we also have, because we have a customer email, customer email, and all of this will come from outside, right? So I'm just putting them as examples here. But you see how difficult sometimes, or easy it is, to migrate this function to the real function. So you may only specify one parameter, customer or customer email. Oh, right. So how the heck is our... So when we created the customer here, maybe we forgot to pass the email. What did I type? Yeah. This customer. Here they have an email address. It's right here. So why don't... Maybe we don't need to specify customer email. I think maybe it will kind of pre-fill it automatically. It will be the question of like really So they give us the URL. They don't give us the URL actually. They give us all of this, but they give us a session ID somewhere. So somewhere here, there's dictionary get body, dictionary get data, I guess. Oh, what's inside the body? Client reference, metadata. Where's the session ID? Success URL. So redirect to checkout. And can I get session ID? Creating generates a session ID, which is important for the following steps. Trace returns. Where's our session ID? Is it actually doing HTTP post? Okay, here we go. So we'll give a session ID. Oh, right there. I just cannot see it. So inside body ID. Apparently, I've been more than half an hour because the breaks are starting. Okay, dictionary get body. Dictionary get ID. Okay, so this is our ID. Copy this guy and the moment of truth. So if I go to Elm and I'm gonna put redirect to checkout, and instead of that session, I'm just gonna hardcode this here. But what we want to see if we're gonna get the right behavior, then we're gonna marry this all together. So this guy pay. That did not work. Right, because we're not running the server. T. Okay, so I'll put my email address. It doesn't matter here yet. Press pay. And it goes to check out the Stripe, and we're gonna get the email address. Awesome, we get the email address, we get the program name, and we even get the price. And if we have a nice image, we can even get the image and we can customize this a bit. That's nice. And if we try to cancel, it says pay type cancel. So we're getting pretty close to the final product. Awesome. So I'm gonna go for a walk and maybe I'll resume another session. Today is main sessions apparently. And as usual, if you have any questions, ask on stream or YouTube or wherever you're watching this. Thank you for watching.